Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Monday Night Raw results. Also, Superstar spoilers for this week, being January the 1st, 2nd, 1st Monday. Great Masa Sayoto turned 74 years old, February 1st. Legendary Jack Briscoe died on February 1st, 2010 at the age of 68 due to complications following open heart surgery. Dennis Condrey turned 64. Here's hoping this is the year that the Midnight Express finally take their spot in the WWE Hall of Fame. The late Jorge Giant Gonzalez was born January 31st, 1966. He died in 2004, complications from diabetes and heart issues. He also worked at Elegante in WCW. Rockstar Spud, a.k.a. James Curtin, turned 33 on Saturday. It worked out nicely for him to be able to celebrate his birthday while on tour in his native England. Becky Lynch, a.k.a. Rebecca Quinn, turned 29 on Saturday. There is no advertised dark match for Raw at on the Arena website, so there wasn't one, but there was some activity after the TV taping stopped, which you'll hear at the end of this video. NXT star Ty Dillinger suffered an injury during Saturday's NXT live event in Detroit, Michigan, during his match with former NXT champion Sami Zayn. Dillinger landed awkwardly on his left foot while taking a suplex. The referee called for an audible to get out of the match as Dillinger rolled to the floor and was counted out, giving Zayn the win by countout. I saw a video on this, and I think it was from the video, it was ruled as a stoppage, as he landed awkwardly on his right ankle and held his left knee. Unknown what the injury was. After the match, Dillinger was helped to the backstage area by the NXT officials while Zayn cut a promo in the ring, putting over the NXT fans in Detroit. And here you can see this video on twitter.com/JimmyDeeb /status. Just go to the link. Click the link. Global Force Wrestling issued the following press release on Monday. Earlier today on Monday to announce their presence at WrestleCon in the form of Jeff Jarrett and Karen Jarrett appearing at the convention representing GFW. Global Force Wrestling founders Jeff and Karen will represent the promotion at the WrestleCon at the downtown Hyatt Regency in Dallas on April 1st and 2nd. WrestleCon will feature more than 100 wrestlers signing autographs and taking pictures with fans from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. On both Friday and Saturday, other GFW stars are expected to join the Jarretts, but nobody has been added yet. And you can go to the WrestleCon.com for that. In an update on WWE's plans for WrestleMania 32, there was some rumors of Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. But that match won't be happening. Vince McMahon reportedly pushed hard for the match to happen, but Lesnar is currently scheduled to face Bray Wyatt in singles action. As of today, plans have Strowman facing The Undertaker in a singles match at WrestleMania 32. Undertaker was originally scheduled to face John Cena in singles action at WrestleMania, but Cena's injury changed those plans. Taker is scheduled to return to WWE TV soon and start doing angles to build to the match with Braun. John Cena set a recovery goal this week as he's back lifting weights. But it's only so far. He's squatting 45 pounds. And you can see as he posted something on Twitter at John Cena, let there be #squat, weekly goal accomplished. Time to raise the stakes at Tap Out Fitness. #never give up. #stay fearless. As he's recuperating from shoulder surgery, as his shoulder was not even taped, as he's only lifted 45 pounds, as he had on his neck, just a bar alone. So there wasn't a link for that, so I'm not posting it. Lucha Underground and El Rey Network has issued the following press release to announce a third season. El Rey Network Emmy Award-winning producer Mark Burnett and MGM today announced that the popular Lucha Libre wrestling series Lucha Underground will return for a third season. The chant starting blood-pumping, action-packed, character-driven series will begin production on the third season immediately in the Boyle Heights neighborhood of Los Angeles and will premiere on El Rey Network in early 2017. Season 2 debuted on El Rey Network on January 27th and airs on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. What have you? Hideo Itami's shoulder has been bothering him in recent weeks following an operation that he underwent due to an injury. According to the latest issue of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, as a result of the shoulder complications, Itami is nowhere close to being able to return. And if you don't know what he looks like, go to WWE 2K16. Although WWE seemingly planted the seeds for a Brock Lesnar vs. Wyatt family feud in this year's Royal Rumble match, and despite the fact that Paul Heyman recently cut a promo claiming Lesnar was headed to Toronto to hunt the Wyatts, the Wrestling Observer newsletter is reporting that the current plan is not for Lesnar vs. Wyatt match at the WWE Network special from Toronto on March the 12th. WWE Hall of Famer Steve Austin will be on Today's Show Wednesday morning at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Austin will be promoting his Broken Skull Ranch reality show on CMT. Wrestling DVD Network.com reports that WWE's DVD and Blu-ray on Eric Bischoff will be released on June 7th in the United States and June 13th in the UK. Here's a synopsis for the Eric Bischoff Sports Entertainment's most controversial figure set. Arguably the most controversial figure to ever step foot in the industry. Eric Bischoff is responsible for some of the most revolutionary moments in sports entertainment history, from creating the NWO to battling WWE as the figurehead of WCW during the Monday Night Wars, to being one of the most hated personalities in both WCW and WWE. Eric Bischoff knew how to get under his rival's skin while creating his own in-your-face brand of controversy. Relive all of Eric Bischoff's greatest moments and hear stories from the man himself and see why he was appropriately named the King of Controversy. Ring of Honor star Caprice Coleman recently appeared as a guest on the two-man power trip of wrestling podcasts and spoke about a number of topics. And here are some of the topics from the interview on training with Matt and Jeff Hardy. Some guys were wrestling outside on a ring that was in a yard, and this was like actually the first time I ever have been in a wrestling ring, and I was excited. It was Matt and Jeff Hardy who were the trainers, but it was way before they were famous, and so they were trying to have their own little wrestling promotion, and this way, even before Omega and I was their referee, I refereed their matches because they would travel a lot of places, and back then, Matt and Jeff were pretty much just wrestling each other, or Matt versus Joey. So we had a handful of people and wrestled a different kind of style. I would go on the road and referee the match because a lot of refs couldn't keep up with the matches going on. Shannon Moore was the other small guy, and it's funny because when we started out, he was a lot bigger than I, and when I hit my growth spurt, I was bigger than him. On the crop of talent that came out of Omega, at the beginning I had no idea because I was just somebody that wanted to train to wrestle. I just happened to fall into a place where I was among greatness. I slowly began to realize it because refereeing when you travel from place to place with Matt and Jeff, when it was not a show that we put on, the way they treated me was kind of different. A lot of people wanted to work with them and then didn't want to work with them. I would notice when somebody from Omega worked somebody from Omega, we would steal the show. When we worked with other people, they had a hard time working with us, and we caught a lot of flack because people would say we worked spotty or we are just a high flyer. A lot of times we were the spotty guys and everyone that we wrestled were trained the old school wrestling way. We were way ahead of our time. Then they comment on wrestlers not being able to keep up with the Omega crew. It was a catch-22 because, for the most part, some of them couldn't keep up, but as time went on, we just had to slow down a little bit. It made a lot of our careers last a lot longer. That's why I've been here for 20 years and I'm in a phenomenal condition, because we've been able to adjust and find a happy medium where we can still be who we are, but still last as long as some of us have. Then he comments on writing his own theme music. I was given a new theme song when they broke up CNC Wrestle Factory, and it didn't have any words to it. The producer said, this is your song, and the first time I heard the song, it was playing during a match I was supposed to be in, and I was actually just waiting for the CNC Wrestle Factory music, and they said, that's your song, now go out. And I was like, okay, but it didn't have words to it. I said, I like the beat, but if you want to put words to it, let me know. If you want to put words to it, let me know. A good friend of mine raps, and I do hype man type stuff, and he wrote the rap, and I wrote the chorus, and we put it down. Then we were kidding around about making a music video and laughed it off, but then we ended up having the ability to do it, and we did it, and it came out pretty good. Well, Blackjack Mulligan, a.k.a. Robert Wyndham, is reportedly hospitalized in Tampa, Florida. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported that Mulligan's grandchildren, Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas, left Raw, along with their father, Mike Rotunda, to be with them at the hospital. Thus, they were not used for Raw. The best, my wishes go out to the Blackjack and the entire Wyndham family. As Blackjack, I didn't see his Facebook. We're friends on Facebook. Didn't see anything on Facebook to him on Monday or anything. It would seem that any segments involving Wyatt or Dallas may appear on Raw tonight were taped prior to their departure. Well, during Raw, they said that Bo had plans for something else. So, wasn't going to be on Raw. All right. Now, for your spoilers for Superstars. Well, there wasn't a dark match prior to Superstars. So, Matt H. and Noah Howell reported spoilers from the tapings. Mark Henry and Jack Swagger defeated the Ascension. Henry worked over the Ascension until he made a hot tag to Swagger, who made Victor tap out to the ankle lock in roughly about 7 minutes. Fine for what it was, the crowd was into Swagger, and Henry got a polite reaction. Match number 2 saw Stardust defeat Zack Ryder in roughly 10 minutes. Ryder got in most of the offense and several near falls before Stardust hit his finisher. Noah said it was a very good match that Stardust won with the Queen's crossbow. Thus, the bringing Arrow back in for Stephen Amell. You know that. They're still going on with their feud. Raw opened up with a standard intro video. Michael Colesall welcomes us to Raw from Birmingham, Alabama. And he's joined by Byron Saxton and JBL. We go right to the ring, and here comes Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman to a big pop. Fans chant Suplex City before Heyman takes the mic and does the introductions. He brings up the Wyatt family plotting on Lesnar in the Royal Rumble match. Heyman says that they failed and Lesnar will get them back. Heyman says that puts us on the track to WWE Fastlane. He says Stephanie McMahon did what's beast for business, but by putting Lesnar in the main event with Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Heyman says Lesnar has authorized him to let us know that at Fastlane, Lesnar will imprison both Reigns and Ambrose into Suplex City. Lesnar will F5 Reigns and Ambrose. Lesnar will stack one on top of the other, pin them both at the same time, then go on to the main event of WrestleMania 32. Lesnar will then conquer the $1 billion trophy. Husband to once again become the reigning undisputed World Heavyweight Champion. Heyman starts ripping on Ambrose until the music hits, and out comes Intercontinental Champion to a pop. Ambrose comes to the ring, meets Lesnar in the middle of the ring. He stands face to face with Brock, but he calls Heyman Porky and asks who he is calling a nut job. Ambrose says he's never been in a lair of a beast before, but it's cozy. Ambrose told himself before he came out that this may be a bad idea. Ambrose tells Lesnar he may look crazy, but he's not crazy. He's not stupid, and he's not scared of Lesnar. Ambrose says he does respect Lesnar. He has all the respect in the world of Lesnar, which he's facing him eye to eye, but Lesnar was just laughing, turning his head, not facing Ambrose. And also says which is why he wanted to come out and look Lesnar eye to eye. But it was just eye to face. Ambrose says he wants the title so bad he's going to fight his own brother for it. He's also going to fight Lesnar for it. Ambrose says he doesn't really want to fight Lesnar. Who would? Ambrose knows the beating he's going to get from Reigns and Lesnar at Fastlane. Ambrose says he can be suplexed all over the place, and he hopes Lesnar is prepared to give the worst beating he's ever given. Ambrose says he's the Iron Man of WWE, and he proves that every single night. Ambrose says he will drag his broken body to WrestleMania and take the title from Triple H. Out of respect, Ambrose just wanted to come, tells Lesnar that. He tells Heyman he just wanted to come see what the fuss was all about. Drops the mic and walks off as his music hits. Heyman and Lesnar look on as Lesnar just laughs. And they talk about Ambrose between themselves, and Lesnar doesn't seem intimidated. Still to come segment, Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Also, Kalisto versus Rusev. And we see the U.S. Champion walking backstage before we go to commercial. Kalisto versus Rusev. After the break, out comes U.S. Champion Kalisto for the non-title match. We see Alberto Del Rio at ringside for commentary. Del Rio versus Kalisto for the title is announced for Fastlane. Rusev and Lana were out next. Lots of back and forth as the first few minutes of the match. Rusev drops Kalisto with an elbow and stops on him. Rusev beats Kalisto around the ring. Kalisto fights off the power bomb and sends Rusev over the top rope. Kalisto leaps out, but Rusev kicks him in midair as we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Rusev is in control. Rusev with a big slam out of the corner for a 2 count. Rusev runs into an elbow in the corner, then a kick. Kalisto with a big tornado DDT. Kalisto with kicks and a springboard. Kalisto makes a comeback, but Rusev catches him with a crossbody and slams Kalisto hard for a 2 count. Kalisto then makes another comeback with kicks to Rusev to the floor. Kalisto charges with another kick as Del Rio looks on. Kalisto goes up top, but Rusev catches him on the floor. Kalisto slides out of the follow-away slam and kicks Rusev into the steel steps. Rusev tosses Kalisto over the announcer table, but he lands on his feet. Kalisto nails a hurricanrana off the announcer table, sending Rusev to Del Rio's feet. On his knees, Kalisto makes it back in at about the 7th count, and the referee gets all the way to 10, and when everybody count out, Kalisto after the match. Kalisto escapes the ring as Del Rio tries to attack him. Kalisto celebrates on the ramp as Del Rio and Rusev look on from the ring, as Rusev couldn't even get up from his knees. Still to come, Miz TV with AJ Styles back to commercial. Back from the break, Roman Reigns is looking at the WWE World Heavyweight title belt with Dean Ambrose backstage. The title is on display in Stephanie McMahon's office. Stephanie walks in and taunts Reigns for losing the title at the Rumble. Reigns says their days with the title are numbered because after Fastlane, he or Ambrose will be the number 1 contender, and then they're coming for Triple H at WrestleMania. Stephanie goes on and tries to start problems between the two. She asks how much longer Ambrose wants to be Reigns' sidekick. Ambrose jokes that Reigns is usually his sidekick. Stephanie's tricks aren't working. She announces Reigns and Ambrose versus the New Day in the main event. Fans chant for the New Day as she dismisses them. Then the announcers go to talk about Nikki Bella's neck surgery. It was a success from last week. Renee Young backstage with Brie Bella tonight. She says Nikki is fearless and as always, and doctors are very optimistic she will return to the ring. She says Nikki is resting and recovering, watching a lot of WWE Network at home. The Divas Champion Charlotte walks up from behind with Ric Flair to interrupt. Brie agrees to pass on Charlotte's well wishes, but Charlotte goes on and pretty much takes credit for Nikki needing surgery. Charlotte brags about being the champion while Nikki is sitting at home enjoying online shopping. As the Flairs walk off, and Charlotte's laughing. Usos and Curtis versus Curtis Axel and Adam Rose. The Social Outcasts is what their tag team name is called. We go to the ring, and out come the Usos. Lillian calls them, by botch, the Grammy Award winners. Back to commercial. Back from the break, we get a replay of Lillian's botch. Out comes the Social Outcast, Heath Slater, Curtis Axel, and Adam Rose, minus Bo Dallas. They do a quick skit to explain why Bo Dallas is absent tonight. And as he told them last week, he wouldn't be here because he's in the studio working on his rap music. Back and forth to start the match. Rose takes control and keeps Jey Uso grounded. Slater has been barking orders from ringside and is dancing on the apron now. After being in the whole time, Jey finally tags into Jimmy, and he comes in to clean house. They hit a double super kick on Rose. Jey goes up to the top for a big splash and a win. After the match, we get replays as the Usos dance. The Miz is backstage preparing for Miz TV as we go to commercial. Back from the break, and Miz is in the ring for another episode of Miz TV. He says that the WWE Universe has been buzzing about AJ Styles since making his debut at the Royal Rumble. Miz goes on and says this forum is all about storytelling, and AJ's story is truly phenomenal. Miz introduces Styles, and out he comes to a pop as we see highlights from his win over Chris Jericho last week. Miz says everyone wants to know who AJ Styles is, but doesn't let him speak just yet. Miz mocks AJ at one point. He says AJ always has been told he didn't have the it factor. Miz talks about how AJ was told he was too small for the football team in high school, but he made it onto the team and became the best player. Miz says AJ went on to wrestle around the world, but always wondered what it was like to stand in a WWE ring. AJ is just looking on and smiling through all of this, because every time he throws the mic at him, he pulls it back. Miz talks about AJ being in the Royal Rumble match and says it must have been the most important moment in AJ's life. Miz is still talking and brings up the Jericho match last week. Miz asks where AJ goes from here, but still doesn't let him speak. Miz says AJ reminds him of his other protege, Daniel Bryan. Miz asks if everyone remembers Bryan, and some chant, yes, even Miz does the mocking. One hand mock. Miz says Bryan didn't achieve true greatness until Miz took him under his wing. Miz says some call him the father of the Yes Movement, and a big no chant breaks out. Miz says he has AJ on the show tonight because he wants to be AJ's mentor and take him to the heights he's never been before. As the fans boo, Miz talking more trash. Miz asks who the hell is AJ Styles anyways. He says that there's probably a reason why our little cult hero never made it to WWE. Miz goes on and says AJ will drown in this ocean full of sharks if he keeps listening to the fans. Fans chant for AJ. Miz calls AJ a rookie new redneck and asks if the fans really think he can make it into WWE without Miz's guidance. Miz says that there's no chance in hell. He turns around and AJ attacks him. He beats Miz into the corner and unloads on him. AJ tosses Miz across the ring and into one of the chairs that both of the guys were sitting in. AJ beats on him some more until Miz escapes up the ramp. AJ yells at him. As his music hits, AJ stands tall as we go to replays. We go to look back at Ambrose and Lesnar from earlier tonight. Still to come, Reigns and Ambrose versus the New Day. Back to commercial. Brie Bella versus Charlotte was up next. Back from the break, out comes Brie with Alicia Fox on the corner. We see the WBC heavyweight champion boxer Deontay Wilder at ringside. I didn't know who he was anyways. WWE Divas champion Charlotte was out next with Ric Flair for this non-title match. Charlotte does some push-ups to start the match. Who else did this when they first made their debut? Jack Swagger, that's right. Brie unloads on Charlotte, takes control of the match. Brie with the yes kicks. She calls for the Brie mode and charges, but gets pushed through the ropes to the floor. Charlotte brings Brie back in and talks some trash while slamming her to the mat. Charlotte gets a 2 count as Flair looks on. As Rick is looking on, Brie fights to her feet, but Charlotte slams her back down by her hair. Charlotte gets a head scissors on. She slams Brie head into the mat with the scissors. Alicia tries to rally for Brie. Brie ducks a kick and hits a pair of clotheslines. Brie nails a running bulldog for a 2 count. Brie keeps control and hits the running knee to the face. She goes up top, but Charlotte knocks her down. Brie ends up on Charlotte's back with a sleeper hold. Flair gets on the apron. Ric Flair gets on the apron for a distraction to the referee. Alicia comes over and yells at Flair to get down. Charlotte finally breaks a sleeper hold as Flair is still yelling at Alicia and dancing on the apron. Charlotte goes for the figure 8, but Brie rolls her up for the non-title win. As Alicia finally pulls Ric Flair off the apron for the distraction, so the referee comes back in and counts a 3 count. After the match, Charlotte clutches her title as Brie and Alicia head up the ramp, celebrating. We're going to look back at Big Show assisting with the Wyatt family on SmackDown. Still to come segment, Show versus Eric Rowan, back to commercial. Back from the break, the announcers send well wishes to the WWE Hall of Famer Bret Hart as they announce that he has prostate cancer. And yes, he did confirm that himself on Twitter, as he's also a friend on Twitter as well. Big Show versus Eric Rowan was up next. We go to the ring out. First comes Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, and Braun Strowman. As noted, Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt were off Raw tonight with their grandfather, WWE Hall of Famer Blackjack Mulligan, and also Michael Rotunda was also gone as well, as he's one of the directors. Big Show grabs part of the steel steps and threatens Braun with him before entering the ring. The bell rings and Rowan charges, but Show beats on him. Rowan fires back with an elbow to the jaw. Rowan goes for a suplex, but Show blocks it and hits one of his own. Show nails a clothesline and a big shove. Show with a splash in the corner and then a shoulder. Harper gets on the apron for a distraction, but Show knocks him off. Braun gets on the apron, but Show knocks him off as well into the announcer's table. Show grabs Rowan for the chokeslam and the win. After the bell, Show stands up and is ready to fight. Braun enters the ring. They stare each other down. Braun attacks and beats Show down to one knee. Harper joins in, but Show fights them both off for a minute. Braun and Harper beat down Show until Rowan joins in, and they all beat down on him. The beatdown on Show continues for a few minutes as the fans boo. They pull Show from the ring and send him into the steps shoulder first. Harper with a big super kick. Rowan and Braun double slam Show on the top of the steps. Harper yells as the graphic flashes as we go to commercial. Back from the break, we see what just happened to Big Show. And next up, we get Titus O'Neil versus Tyler Breeze. We go to the ring. Out comes Titus O'Neil. Announcers talk about how he surprised honor roll students with lunch and a trip to the SmackDown last week. Tyler Breeze was out next. We get a sidebar video from earlier with Breeze ripping on how Titus looked. They lock up and Titus tosses Breeze into the corner but runs into a boot. Breeze comes off the second rope and Titus catches him. Titus with the backbreakers before tossing Breeze across the ring. Titus barks and hits the big running splash in the corner. Breeze takes the knee out and brings Titus to the mat. Breeze uses the ring post and comes back in to keep focus on the leg. Breeze with a 1 count. And another pin attempt. Out of frustration, Breeze drops an elbow on the leg and applies a half crab. Breeze tries to drag Titus in the corner, but Titus tosses him by his arm. Titus gets up and nails a clothesline. Titus manhandles Breeze some more and catches him in the clash of Titus for the win. After the match, we go to replays. They announce to talk about how Titus is improving each week. Brock Lesnar backstage talking to Paul Heyman when WWE World Heavyweight Champion Triple H walks in. He asks for Heyman to give them a second to talk in private. Heyman leaves. Triple H asks if he really saw little Dean Ambrose get in Lesnar's face and then lived to tell the story. Triple H asks if things are getting soft in Suplex City. Lesnar laughs and says he guesses we'll find out at WrestleMania. Triple H says he's looking forward to it. Lesnar agrees and says he will see Triple H there. Triple H nods and leaves as we go to commercial. Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler was up next. Of course, back from a commercial break, Dick Ziggler was out next. Then Owens follows. Ziggler immediately goes for a super kick, but ducks out of the ring. Owens ducks out of the ring. Invites some on the floor before Owens takes control inside. Owens beats Ziggler around and talks trash. Ziggler nails a big drop kick and Owens goes back to the floor. Ziggler follows, but Owens catches him and throws him into the timekeeper's area. Owens goes back into the ring as we go to commercial. Back for the break. Owens is still in control. Owens keeps Ziggler down with a headlock while talking more trash. Ziggler breaks a hold, but misses a kick. Owens whips Ziggler face first into the turnbuckles as he hits it hard. Ziggler falls to the mat. Owens with a corner cannonball for a 2 count. Then Owens puts boots to Ziggler. Ziggler fights back. Owens drops him with a big right hand. Owens gets a 2 count and more trash talking. Owens stomps on Ziggler. Owens clubs Ziggler and tells the referee Ziggler can't continue. Owens with a clothesline. He misses a running senton after saying it's for Cole. Owens charges in the corner, runs into the ring post as Ziggler moves out of the way. As Ziggler comes back with 3 splashes in the corner, Owens blocks the 4th with a big clothesline. Ziggler avoids a pop-up powerbomb and sends Owens to the apron. Ziggler knocks Owens to the floor with a super kick. Ziggler goes to the floor, hits a famouser as the referee counts them both. Ziggler brings him back in the ring for a close 2 count. Owens shakes Ziggler off, nails a big super kick for a 2 count. Owens stomps and steps on Ziggler. He yells to the crowd and goes to the top. Ziggler runs up and meets him at the top. Owens sends Ziggler to the mat with a headbutt. Ziggler runs back up and Owens leaves him upside down. Owens hits a cannonball while Ziggler is upside down. Owens goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but Ziggler lands on his feet and hits a zigzag for the win. After the match, Ziggler recovers as we go to replays. Ziggler leaves and greets the fans on the way out. Owens recovers at ringside in front of the announcer's table and throws some papers at Cole. Cole leads us to a Black History Month video for Mark Henry. So to come segment, Reigns and Ambrose versus New Day. Back to commercial. Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch was up next. Back for the break. Out comes Sasha by herself. As she said, she's on her own. She takes the mic and says she's back, and this time it's on her own terms. No more sitting in the back watching divas take her spotlight. That's why she's on her own. She says nothing will stop her from being Divas champion. She addresses the Divas champion Charlotte, saying Becky Lynch and Brie can't compare to her because she's the boss. Naomi's music hits and out she comes with Tamina Snuka. Naomi says this is a proud moment for them to see baby girl spread her wings. Sasha says this isn't anything against them. Naomi enters the ring and says they're veterans, so they understand. Naomi says they can be competitors and still be sisters. Sasha asks if they came out to give her a blessing. They agree, and Sasha says she still wants them to have unity. Naomi still seems hesitant, but they appear to be on the same page for now. Becky Lynch's music hits, and out she comes to a pop. We go to commercial, back for the break. And the match starts. Back and forth to start the match. Becky with arm drags. Sasha gets the upper hand after more back and forth action. Sasha kicks Becky off the apron. Tamina grabs her for Naomi to hit her, but Sasha comes out and gets in the way. Sasha says she doesn't need them out here. She's got this. Sasha rolls Becky back in and has words with Naomi and Tamina after they walk up on her. She shoves them. She goes back in the ring, but they pull her out for disqualification. Winner by disqualification, Sasha Banks. Naomi and Tamina beat down on Sasha at ringside until Becky comes over to make the save. Naomi rolls Becky in, and Tamina rolls Sasha in. Becky and Sasha fight back and stand tall in the ring. A big NXT chant starts up as when Sasha's music plays, and the two teams stare each other down. JBL leads us to a preview for tonight's Legends with JBL episode with Hall of Famer Ron Simmons. Yep, former tag team partner from the APA. Back from the break, and we get a look back at AJ Styles versus Chris Jericho from last week's Raw. Renee Young backstage with Jericho. She asks about that match. Jericho says everyone is talking about AJ except Jericho because Jericho is thinking about him. Jericho says everything about that match was tremendous, except the outcome. Jericho says it proved to him that AJ is here for the long haul and is the real deal. He proved it again by beating on Miz tonight. Jericho says he will be paying close attention to what happens between Styles and Miz on SmackDown. Jericho says he's taking this very seriously and can't wait to see what happens. R-Truth finds Goldust in a bathroom stall. And all Goldust wants is for Truth to be his tag team partner. Gold and Truth. It's a hot name, he says. Truth says he doesn't want to tag with Goldust because he's a weirdo. Truth says Goldust has doo-doo on his foot because he was sitting on the toilet, or on the top of the toilet, and when he goes to stand up, his foot went inside the toilet, which all we saw was a splash. Goldust brings up little Jimmy and says he was imaginary. It appears Truth's feelings are hurt as he walks off. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus The New Day for your main event. We go to the ring. Out comes the tag team champions, The New Day. They hit the ring as Aubrey Woods plays Francesca 2. Big E and Kofi dance as they go to commercial. Back from the break, and Paul Heyman is out for commentary. New Day are already in the ring, ripping on the Rock and the foul language he used on Raw from last week. They're going to get beat up on Raw. They're going to beat up on Rock's cousin and his friend tonight, laying them to rest. They dance and get a chant going until the music interrupts. Now comes Roman through the crowd by himself. To a pop as Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose enters through the stage. To a pop. Kofi starts things off with Reigns as Woods looks on from ringside. Kofi with a headlock and some other holds. Kofi shoves Reigns away and gets a hype after a series of holds. Kofi with a headlock. Kofi with more offense, but Reigns drops him with a right hand. Ambrose comes in and works Kofi over in the corner. Ambrose with a slam and a clothesline. Ambrose eats chops in the corner and tells Kofi to bring it. Ambrose then turns around and unloads. He stabs Kofi and Reigns, tags back in. Reigns drops an elbow for a 2 count on Kofi. Reigns and Kofi go at it. Reigns drops with a big boot. Reigns ready for a Superman punch, but Kofi is pulled to safety as we go to commercial. Back from the commercial, New Day is in control as Big E goes on and attempts the apron splash on Reigns, but Reigns moves and Big E lands hard. Ambrose comes in and goes at it with Big E. Ambrose with a shoulder and then a bulldog. Kofi comes back in, but Ambrose throws him to the floor and follows. Ambrose launches Kofi into the barrier, comes back in and dumps Big E over the top. Ambrose runs the ropes and dives out. Suicide dive, sending Big E into the announcer table. Ambrose rolls Big E back inside the ring. Woods runs over and drops Ambrose while Kofi has the referee distracted. Kofi tags in and kicks Ambrose in the face from the apron. Kofi brings him back in for a 2 count. Kofi and Big E do quick tags and stomps on Ambrose in the corner. Big E ends up with Ambrose in an abdominal stretch. It's broken, but Big E drops him for a 2 count. Kobe comes back in as Woods runs his mouth at ringside. Kobe with a knee and a slam. Kobe goes to the top, but comes down on top of a big right hand. Big E tags in and stops Ambrose from tagging in. Ambrose counters and suplexes Big E. Reigns tags in with Kofi. Reigns drops him twice as the fans boo. Reigns with a big clothesline and another slam. Reigns with a big shot in the corner as fans count along. Big E ends up tagging in, but Reigns hits him with a big Samoan drop. Ambrose tags in and hits him a big elbow off the top rope and on Big E for a 2 count as Kofi breaks up the pinfall. He tosses Ambrose to the floor. Woods beats on Ambrose, but gets hit with a big clothesline. Kobe comes out, but Reigns nails a big right hand off the steel steps. Big E slams Reigns on the top of the announce table, and then Big E goes back inside the ring, clotheslines Ambrose. Reigns saves Ambrose with a Superman punch on Kofi. Ambrose nails Dirty Deeds on Big E for the win. After Matchbox Lesnar's music hits, out he comes. New Day attacks from behind and beats on Reigns and Ambrose while they're staring at Lesnar. Lesnar stops and laughs while Reigns and Ambrose fight the New Day off. Reigns takes Kofi to the floor. Lesnar runs in the ring and lays Ambrose out with an F5. Reigns is down on the floor with Kofi. Lesnar laughs as he stands over Ambrose and his music hits. Lesnar doesn't hang around long and exits the ring with Heyman behind him. Raw goes off the air with Lesnar looking back inside the ring. After Raw went off the air, New Day continued to attack on Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose. Chris Jericho's music hit. Y2J ran to the ring and started taking out members of the New Day. Reigns and Ambrose got to their feet to help Jericho finish off the New Day and send the crowd home happy. Lillian thanked the enthusiastic fans for coming. The crowd was into it the whole entire night long. As a second report from Raw finished off with Brock Lesnar delivering an F5 to Dean Ambrose off of a 3-way main event for Fastlane. After the camera stopped rolling, the New Day continued their attack on Ambrose and Reigns. Jericho's music hit, and out come Y2J to the ring and came to the defense of Reigns and Ambrose. Reigns and Ambrose eventually got to their feet and helped Jericho fend off the New Day. 3 babyfaces celebrated to end the show. Fans might have noticed during Raw that there was a sign at ringside that read, "If Roman wins, we complain online." Person who brought the sign claimed WWE security took the sign away from him and threatened to kick him out if he didn't comply. The fan wrote on Reddit after the event. Brad Davis sent this in. Went to Raw last night, took a sign that said, "If Roman wins, we complain online." Right before the main event, a WWE employee flagged the fan down. I say WWE employee because he was wearing a WWE shirt along with a giant headset, and you could tell he was communicating with the back. He says, "Give me your sign or you're out of here." I asked why, and said it wasn't against Roman. He replied, "Do you want to go?" So I handed it to him. I would have said, if I was him, I would have said, "I'm under my constitutional rights. Sue me. Escort me out, and I'll sue you." And that would be my reply. Also on Raw, Jimmy and Jey Uso were erroneously introduced by a botched Lillian Garcia as a Grammy Award winning Tag Team of the Year, opposed to the Slammy Award winning Tag Team of the Year. Prior to their match against Curtis Axel and Adam Rose, Raw immediately went to a commercial break with her announcing flub replayed when the show returned to the air. It was then repeatedly mentioned by JBL throughout the night, and you can see a video of this on YouTube. I'll post that link. As Lillian also commented and apologizing after all, Lillian Garcia, "Music Side of Me," came out in that match. Hashtag Usos. Hashtag Raw. Also, she said again, Lillian Garcia, "Look what I found. Let me tell you, once you get one of these in your hand, you can't think of anything else." Hashtag Raw. Hashtag Grammy. The Usos tweeted back at WWE Usos at Lillian Garcia. Knows we do it all. Slammy to Grammy. Hashtag Raw. Hashtag back to back. And I'll show you your pic to end my video of the whole thing. Thanks again. Peace out. See you when I'll be here. If you don't know, just call me, brothers and sisters.